y'all need to really find out. And all that other stuff y'all doing and spending and stuff, try to figure out a way.
I think that's the voice that interrupts Raymond.
I find it funny that there seems to be a question of, well, for the lack of a better term, jurisdiction. Which fire department is the lead agency here. It's been several weeks since the fire, and the only thing that seems to be known is how it actually started. The families are looking for help.
Notice she interrupts him twice. So the first time he puts his hand out as if to say, please, don't throw my train of thought off. And then she does it again as if to put words in his head. And I thought it was, I want to say Sandy Allen, but I think it was the lady that spoke before him. And I want to say Esther Brown, but I'm not sure, because she didn't say her name. But I think I've heard it before. And I usually, although I don't agree with her, I like her style, and I appreciate that she's, I don't know, she seems well educated, articulate, and all that. I don't understand why she's under. I don't understand why any of these people under attack. But I mean, on the attack. But that was the most interesting thing. Where I'm gonna watch it again. Notice how his hand goes out, like to say, just shush for a minute. And in fact, he is saying, maybe he knows who started the fire. So is the person shutting him up because she doesn't want that revealed, or is she just being lame brain and getting in the way? That's what these people don't understand. This is a sacred moment where people need to shut up and listen. And in fact, it's not unlike a state of prayer, I would say. It's, it's a very sacred 5 minutes that needs to be respected and listened to, because when you're not distracted, you get into your groove. When people are throwing, their thoughts into your head, it messes you up. It's really hard to talk from your heart, and that's why we're not allowed to talk from our heart. That's why the mother from Newtown, I feel weird to say this, but she's crying while reading a monitor. There's just something wrong about that. But check this out. I hope I didn't go too far back.
Sure, there's a local, a Red Cross, somewhere in Westchester. It's been several weeks since the fire.
Now watch this.
And
listen.
The only thing that seems to be known is how it actually started.
No. And they still do it.
The families are looking for, help, like from anywhere.
It just kind of seemed like she made him change. The way I see that is he was privy to some conversations where people were talking about who started it, but they're, that's not where they want to go with that, because that won't serve their agenda. And so he was like directed by somebody where to go. And Raymond, I don't mean any disrespect by that. I'm just amazed at the hypocrisy. And this guy, Raymond, I want to say Aztec or something. He really, in the middle of what he was saying, caught my attention. He's very, very articulate, and and yet he gets pulled back into just the empty blah blah that so many people show up with at these meetings, and it's a shame. So I just thought that was amazing to see that even someone that's like, compadre, is that what I mean to say? It's still interrupting, and I just thought that was so fascinating to see how you can see him struggling to try to keep his thoughts together. Did I go back too far? One more time.
I find it funny that there seems to be a question of
Relax, Tam.
been several weeks since the fire, and the only thing that seems to be known is how it actually started.
No. It takes a minute for him to get his thoughts together, and then listen again. What is she saying here? I don't know what she's saying.
The families are looking for, help.
Yeah. Oh, okay. The families are looking for help. Who doesn't know that? And they're not looking for help. They're coming up and bitching about it and demanding it. And I mean, who shows up and demands porta potties that wasn't even in the fire? I mean, the people in the fire, I think, were acting very, for the most part, very dignified. And my heart really went out to them when, people had questions and stuff. But even the guy that first spoke, as moved as I was by his story, I felt like he was set up to, or put up to sort of agitate a little bit too, because, all this nonsense about, you have to spend what you have to get food. Everybody knows that, and that's the dilemma. And as backwards as it might seem, it just makes sense, because it's supposed to be an emergency safety net. And if you are lucky enough to have something, well, that's how it is. And so I don't want to say anything bad about the poor guy with kids and everything, but it just seems like something that people know the answers to already. But I meant to just really emphasize that one point where it's about right here. Say it, Raymond.
It's been several weeks since the fire, and the only thing that seems to be known is how it actually started. The families are looking for, help, like from anywhere.
She just made him completely change what he was starting to talk about.
I'm sure, FEMA, might be of some, like assistance here. But
So do you know who started the fire? Do you know exactly what happened?
Well, for the lack of a better term, jurisdiction. Department is the lead agency here. It's been several weeks since the fire, and the